Oh, YouTube world, what is going on? It's your boy Berto, host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show, joined by my co-host Bro Talk at Dirty Bird Central, man, folks, and we are
Reporting eligible, baby.
hot
Coming at you live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the first edition of this mock draft. We will be mock drafting for all 32 NFL teams. So stay tuned and see who we think your team will be picking in this 2025 NFL draft, man. What's up to everybody that's in the chat thus far, man? Dwayne Ruffin, my guy from sunny SoCal. What's going on? Philip Crawford, what is happening? Derek, rise up, man. Man, Derek, Bro Talk, a lot to talk about, you know, post Senior Bowl and stuff like that, man. A lot of these NFL prospects have done themselves a service by making themselves some money this past weekend, man. And I'm sure that we'll talk about some names coming up for your NFL teams and our very own Atlanta Falcons. We're gonna mix it in there with some trades and stuff like that. Keep it hot and fresh and and funky for y'all, man, because I know that's exactly what y'all want. Shout out to those again in the chat. A1 Forever Sports, what's going on, Chris? So the newest member of Atlanta Hawks Digest, man. Congratulations to you again, Chris. Our guy, Smitty Smith and Smitty Sports Machine with the boot. Man, take that boot and shove it up your, you know what? Nah, all love, brother. All love. Ladarius Brown got it done doing a show with him and C-Dub earlier this evening. It's available on C-Dub's platform for all you wrestling heads that love to talk wrestling. There's a go-to right there as well, man. Brody Brown, what is going up? Rise up, man. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it, Bro Talk, man. First overall pick belongs to the Tennessee Titans, a team that's coming off, not so great of a season. A lot of needs on their end, and we hope to, clarify some things for that organization, what they lack. So, your thoughts, right quick, on how you see this first round shaping up.
I think we're going to see. I know we say this every year, but I truly think that we could see a lot of trades happening. You see the big wig scouts, the guys we see online, they really only have 10 first-round grades at the top. So it's not a very talented draft class. I think Daniel Jeremiah said it, picks 20 through 60. There's no real drop-off there. So if you have a slew of picks in that range, you could really bolster your roster, get it younger within that range. The quarterback talent isn't great, right? We have the two big names in Shadur and Cam. Some people think only one will go in the first round. Some people think four will go in the first round. We all thought it was only going to be three last year. And what was it? It was six or five that went, including our Atlanta Falcons. So you never know, right? Now looking back into this draft, it was the correct decision for the Falcons. Let's see if someone else takes a leap of faith. Let's see if the Falcons are trendsetters for another team. We'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, me too, man. And you mentioned a key word, man, slew of picks, and that's something that the Atlanta Falcons currently do not have. So when it's our turn at 15 to pick, there could be some trade consideration there. There's, holes aplenty on the defensive side, and this being, like Daniel Jeremiah said, no real drop off from that 20 to 60. The Falcons are in prime position if they facilitate a trade to land a possible first round talent that slips into the second round. And where is this draft most rich at is in the trenches on the defensive side, and that's where the work needs to be had for these Atlanta Falcons, man. So without further ado, man, let's jump right into it. Welcome everybody to the first edition of Mock Draft 1.0.
All right, so guys, me and Berto are going to be alternating picks. I was lucky enough. Berto was such a gentleman that he gave me the number one overall pick, the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, there is a need there at quarterback. Will Levis, I don't think, is their franchise quarterback, but there is some talent in this draft that I don't think they can pass up. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of people by not going with quarterback. Okay. They're not going to go quarterback, in my opinion. They are going to take a guy that can make an immediate impact. And I think with the first overall pick, the Tennessee Titans go with Abdul Carter.
Wow, man. Now that's a shocker. Abdul Carter, Penn State menace. Where's number 11? And there's something about that number 11, man, with Penn State and edge rushers, that just strikes a chord. But Abdul Carter cannot ignore his physical attributes and what he brought to that Nittany Lions defense. Obviously, Tennessee needing defense. Much of their guys were up on the trade market. Jeffrey Simmons, there was rumors of him. Harold Landry, their talent rusher as well. So why not make up for those rumors and add to their group? So Abdul Carter off the board early, leaves the Cleveland Browns, which means the Cleveland Browns are on the clock. And this would have been a spot for me personally to take Abdul Carter with all the rumors surrounding Myles Garrett. Could have been right there, just a seamless, exit one guy, enter another one. But this is an organization that, my God, the quarterback position has been non-existent. Talking Bernie Kosar days and whatnot, man. They just don't have it, man. So I see in this one here, the first quarterback being taken off the board, and that quarterback being Cam Ward. Could you not take the young flamethrower out of the U, man? Pairing him with Kevin Stefanski, a wide open offense. The kid has the arm talent. Sure, he needs a little bit more refining, but with Kevin Stefanski, being an offensive coordinator at heart, quarterback coach as also in the past, now the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. I think it's a good match for right now. Obviously, they'll need a bridge gap quarterback. And the Falcons have somebody that can mend that bridge too. So just throwing that out there. But Cam Ward goes number 2 to the Cleveland Browns. Number 3, Giants. You're on the clock.
With that domino effect, I think we can all agree we know what the Giants are looking to pick. It's a matter of who is there. And the Cleveland Browns taking Cam Ward makes their decision even easier. He's been around his dad, who's been in big markets. I think the Giants, no brainer, don't even take the full clock. They select Mr. Shedeur Sanders as their quarterback of the future. I think Shedeur gets a lot more hate than he needs. He's an accurate quarterback. He has the arm strength. The one thing that he will struggle with that I'd like to see him improve on is handling the blitz. But pairing him with Brian Dable in that offense, I think can make things happen. He has the mobility to make up for the weak offensive line that the Giants have. We saw Jaden Daniels make the Commanders' offensive line look better. Not saying he has that mobility, but he has the ability to move around and be an accurate quarterback. Shedeur Sanders, you are a New York Giant.
Wow, man. That leaves the most hated team in all of the NFL, not named the Kansas City Chiefs. The New England Patriots are on the clock. Now, as you see there, their needs, running back, wide receiver, guard, and tackle. I agree with the tackle, but at 4, I think it's a little too rich for a guy like Will Compton out of LSU. But I think it makes the right sense to take a guy or deem the safest pick in the draft in the form of Travis Hunter going to the New England Patriots. They already have a slew of wide receivers. Javon Baker last year that they took in the mid rounds out of UFC. They also took with Jalen Polk out of Washington in the second round. So add Travis Hunter to that trio of wide receivers to give Drake May some viable weapons in that New England offense now being coached by Mike Vrabel. We could see some sparks flying in New England sooner rather than later, and the addition of Travis Hunter, can add to that.
So here's where it gets tricky for me, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, because you have a new coach in Liam Cohen, right? All that, scrutiny and like all that drama with Tampa. Well, now he's the head coach.
The most awkward.
You know what? You could be awkward all you want as long as you win football games. It doesn't matter. What's going on, Kerry? As long as you're winning football games. This is where I think they may struggle, right? Because they found something in Brian Thomas Jr., who I think is the number 1. You have Trevor Lawrence coming back. You have an offensive line that's been struggling. This is where I think it could get kind of hairy.
Yep.
Right? But a lot of defense or offensive coaches, I see want to bolster the defense. So they don't have to worry about that, right? They let their defensive coordinator handle things. And I think they take another safe pick in Mason Graham of Michigan. They go interior. The guy is good, and he has Eric Armstead to learn from on that defensive front with Josh Allen Hines and then Trayvon Walker. You plug him in, that defensive front gets really scary.
Yeah. Leaves the Oakland Raiders are that now on the clock, man. Vegas? Quarterback, running back, Vegas. Yeah, that team. Sorry. Ashton Gentry makes a lot of sense here, but I think it could be a little too rich for Ashton Gentry, but a guy like Tatorian McMillan would make sense. You know, obviously with the departure of Devontae Adams leaves a hole at the wide receiver position. But Brock Bowers, their do-it-all tight end, obviously needs a running mate, and Tatorian McMillan drawing already comparisons to our very own Drake London. Why not? You know, so sign me up, man. Tatorian McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona to the Raiders.
Hold on, I'm reading Carrie's comment. Did y'all see D-Led's tweet from a few minutes ago? Him and Kirk are both in NOLA for the Super Bowl. He said he gave Kirk several opportunities to clarify his injuries comments tonight, and Kirk respectfully and repeatedly declined. He said that he wasn't doing any media. That's just not a good look, bro. You have an Atlanta reporter. The city wants you.
The city wants to know, man.
The city wants to know and clear your name. And you're just, no thanks. Yeah. But you want to go on a national media platform in Good Morning Football. That's bad business, baby.
Sure
bad business. Anyways, you said McMillan for the Raiders, right?
For the Raiders, yes.
All right. So now the Jets are on the clock. You have a new head coach in Aaron Glenn. You're losing probably DJ Reed. They already have a great front four, so I don't think they really focus on there. You have another blue chip guy. What did Aaron Glenn play in the NFL?
Ooh, boy.
Cornerback. Sure. I think they go corner to pair up with Sauce Gardner. Give me Will Johnson out of Michigan.
Wow, man, you went there, huh?
I did. He's a technician, and he's going to be good in the NFL.
He's going to be good. There are some questions about his long speed, but you know what? We've seen shutdown corners in the form of Darrelle Revis for the Jets that didn't have top-of-the-line speed. It was just a technician at the cornerback spot, knew exactly how to play a receiver off the line. So, yeah, I like the pick. On the clock is our rival, the Carolina Panthers. And, yeah, listen, man, and this one here, this is going to be a ballsy pick. But I'm going to go here, man. And what the Senior Bowl has shown us that pass rushers come in all shapes and sizes, right? And there was one guy that just really fits the bill in that notion. And pairing him with Derek Brown will give this tandem or this organization something to look forward to, man. Give me Walter Nolan at number 8 to the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, that's a huge jump.
Give it to me. Give it to me, man. Give it to me, bro.
We find a defense interior. There he is. Number 19 ranked overall, taken in the top 10. Wow.
Yeah, man.
So you know what? Now we have our Aints, our biggest rival, right? Stinky Aints. They're hosting the Super Bowl this year. I think that changes. If the Panthers go Walter Nolan, I think that throws a wrench in their plan, because I really thought someone else would be going off the clock here. Okay. Mm-hmm. They have an aging Cam Jordan. Okay. They still need help on the front. They need someone that could learn from Cam Jordan. As much as I don't like it, and as much as I think it's going to pain the Falcons faithful because they're such big Bulldog fans, it's happening.
Oh, my God.
It's happening. Michael Williams to the Aints. Nice. He just fits the mold of that defense, a 4-3 style defense. He's what Damsky said. He's going to be an elite run defender. Just needs to learn some pass rush moves. Can back up Cam Jordan the last couple years of his career and then take over. A kicker for the Aints. Yeah, I wish.
Yeah. Shout out Ladarius, man. On the clock, the Chicago Bears. Man, I'm going to get right to it, man. That man right there, ranked number 5th, Ashton Gentry.
You think the Bears take Gentry?
I think the Bears take Gentry. I think that
Respect.
their new their new head coach obviously wanting to probably mimic the success that he had with the Detroit Lions and Johnson. So having Jahmyr Gibbs, having David Montgomery, this is a guy that knows how to utilize running backs. So give him a guy like Genty to upstart that offense with a Caleb Williams. I mean, it's must-see TV for Chicago, man. So give me
Boom.
Genty.
Genty.
Give me
Wow.
Genty.
I have not once mocked him or thought he would go to the Bears, but what you're saying makes complete and total sense.
We took Bijan at 8. A pick or two after was Jahmyr Gibbs. And these running backs with these skill sets, both receiving and in their running ability, just kind of fit the mold of what a running back should be in the today's NFL.
Well,
So
Brody, let me say, just because you have one running back doesn't mean you don't add another one. And that's exactly what the Lions did. They had Montgomery, but they added Gibbs. And look at the set sex. We had Algier, we added Bijan. And look, you just can never count that out with an offensive mind, like Berto said, Ben Johnson, and wanting to mimic that offense. It just makes sense. So now, Mr. Kyle Shanahan is on the clock. Okay. Another player I did not think would be here, but I truly think Dre Greenlaw is going to be gone. You need someone to pair with Fred Warner. Now, Fred Warner's that coverage guy. So the guy that I think they take, they're not going to ask a whole lot as far as coverage. Can he do it? Yes. But they're going to mainly use him in blitz packages and run defending. Mr. Jalen Walker out of Georgia to the 49ers.
Man. All right. I crushed the dreams of all Dallas Cowboy faithfuls when I sent Ashton Genty to the Chicago Bears. But the needs are there. Running back, wide receiver, tackle, and edge. This is a good spot for either Will Compton or even the man right there, James Pierce Jr. Keep a guy in the state of Texas. Why not? I like the pairing there. I'm on the fence here.
Well, remember they just did hire Eberflus as their defensive coordinator. So that gives you an idea of what their defense might look like.
Exactly. And James Pierce makes a lot of sense. Currently, right now, their pass rushers have question marks, right? What's his name? Oh my God, I'm throwing a brain fart over here.
Who you got?
Not Micah Parsons, but his running mate, Demarcus Lawrence. Could be on the chop block this offseason. He has an inflated cap situation going on. Dallas's cap situation is not the best. Give me James Pierce Jr. at number 12 for the Dallas Cowboys, man. But I agree with you, Smitty, too. They do have to build their O-line, though.
So this is where it gets tricky, right? Because surprisingly, the top offensive tackles, they're still on the board. Who has had issues, right? Looks like Anthony Weaver's going to be returning. Mike McDonald's there. But the Dolphins, for whatever reason, they don't like to invest in the draft when it comes to offensive tackles. You have another blue chip guy. Isn't Javon Holland on the Dolphins?
Sure is.
And he's probably going to get a nice payday, and he's going to be gone. So you need to replace him with a younger guy that can play all over the field. Another Georgia boy off the board, Malachi Starks to the Dolphins.
That is three.
3 Georgia boys. And we probably won't see another Georgia player till the 3rd round, if I'm being honest. Hey, don't shoot the messenger, okay?
No. Shoot, man. Indianapolis Colts are on the clock, and this team, can we say they're set at the running back position? Maybe not. The skill set positions are what they are. I think this is an offense that is missing their number one need, and that's a tight end. And Penn State just so happens to have a fantastic tight end in Tyler Warren, which I think would look fantastic in a Colt uni, man.
And he also wears number 44, former Dallas Clark number.
Dallas Clark, man.
For all you old heads. And now I am here. The beloved Falcons, right? In the media once again this week for the wrong reasons, but here we are. Always can have one normal offseason, but you know what? We're here. And this is where the first trade will happen. Now, the way I'm going to do this is you guys can see right here, there are 5 trade opportunities. I'm only going to select who is offering. So right now, The Steelers, the Chargers, the Rams, the Titans, and the 49ers are all wanting to move up. I think the sweet spot, the furthest I think the Falcons go back is the Chargers. Okay, so I'm gonna make a deal with the Chargers for 15. I'm gonna take 22. I'm also gonna take their third rounder and their fifth. That should equate to the points total. If you guys don't know, a lot of GMs use points. Each pick has a certain value, right? Your trading value, and this would be what I've seen is the equal value here. I'm going to offer the trade. The trade is in, so now the Chargers are on the clock, and I think they are also going to do a blue chip guy. Oh, yeah, blue chip. They need to help Justin Herbert, right? In the form of a tight end, in the form of a running back one. I think if Genti was there, this would be the pick. Imagine Genti in that Chargers offense, but they could also use a wide receiver. They could also use a running mate for Lad McConkey, Georgia boy.
Yep. Georgia boy, yep.
I think this is a no-brainer for me. I'm going to go Luther Burden.
Nice pick.
You have speed with McConkey and Burden, both guys that can make you miss. That offense has improved even more.
And also takes a lot of pressure out of Quentin Johnston, their former first-round pick from a few years back, who kid can't catch a break. And
he can't catch the ball either.
Right. right. Cincinnati Bengals are now on the clock, and much has been discussed.
You got the Cardinals.
I'm sorry, the Arizona Cardinals. Tired is that fan base of watching Kyler Murray just run all over the place, and it just so happens that there is a bookend available right now. Will Campbell makes a lot of sense for this Arizona Cardinals team. Tackle position. Give me Will Campbell to the Arizona Cardinals.
The 16 is huge. That's huge. They can move on from what's his name, Jonah Williams.
Yep.
Johnson, and now you pair him up with Will Campbell. Some good tackles there, man. So now I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
Don't you do it?
They need edge help. They need edge help. Trey Hendrickson has already said in the Pat McAfee show today, he wants to get paid or he wants to be traded. One or the other. I think if Myles Garrett goes, Trey Hendrickson goes, because they have to pay Jamar Chase. They're trying to pay T. Higgins. They already paid Joe Burrow. It's a lot of people to pay. But on the other hand, that defensive interior has been god-awful, and so has the linebacker room. So then, do they take a Mike Green? Do they go defensive interior? I really think here, who's their new defensive coordinator? It's the Notre Dame guy, isn't it? What's his name? It's Notre Dame, right?
Bengals?
I can't remember. I think that's who they hired when they fired, what's his name?
When they fired Lou.
So I'm going to tell you who I'm going. I'm going defense. I'd like to know who the defensive coordinator is.
Al Golden.
Okay, so he got a promotion from Notre Dame. I'm going to tell you a sleeper pick. Jack Sawyer.
Wow.
Jack Sawyer fits the Bills and the mentality and what they need, especially if Trey Hendrickson's gone. You have Sam Hubbard, who's on the chopping block, another Ohio State kid going to the Bengals.
Wow. That leaves the Seattle Seahawks and Mike McDonald on the clock. And a lot of the surprise was, and you and I spoke about this, that we didn't see more Baltimore Raven players follow Mike McDonald, right? So was he trying to just carve his own new mentality or his new wave of guys on how he brings them up? Sure, maybe. They traded for Ernest Jones the fourth, and which the trade proved to be, it was a meh pick. He's a free agent. There's a guy in Alabama that fits the bill. And you want to recreate what you had with Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith. Give me Jihad Campbell.
In that Seattle defense is lethal.
Seattle defense, man. I love it. I like it. It just makes too much sense for me, man.
Wow. I'm surprised how these offensive tackles are just falling.
They are. But it just screams to the need of defense across the league. That's what that signifies to me. So, and plus, it's just our personal take on it too. So it's nothing's really concrete, man.
So here's where it gets tricky. Okay, because the Buccaneers, we know their needs. They're a division rival. They've been our most competitive rival because they've won, what, 3 straight division titles, 4 straight, I can't remember. But you see the needs, edge, linebacker, DB, they need defense, right? But there's a team that's picking a couple picks later that I think is going to want to jump the Broncos for a position that they're both looking to add. So here I am making a second trade.
Mm-hmm.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to try and jump they didn't accept it. I'm going to force it. So they're going to jump the Broncos because the Broncos are in need. And I think this is where the Steelers take a wide receiver and Emeka, what's his name? Egbuka.
Egbuka. Mm-hmm.
So now the Broncos are on the clock. That's someone I think they would have been targeting if he was there at number 20.
Yeah.
So the Steelers jumped the gun at a position that they've needed.
Yeah. This next pick for me would have been, and you and I, again, we talk a lot behind the scenes. The Denver Broncos needing a tight end for that Sean Payton offense. Colston Loveland out of Michigan makes a lot of sense in this one here. Sean Payton's likes the big body tight ends, and Colston Loveland fits the bill. I think that you try to recreate what you had before with New Orleans through Jimmy Graham. Not saying that they're the same player, but you kind of can see the athletic ability, the catch radius. It's there. Colston Loveland to the Denver Broncos at 20.
This is where it gets tricky for me for the Buccaneers because you could take someone like Mike Green, an edge guy, but it doesn't fit what Todd Bowles likes to do, in my opinion. He likes to drop his edge guys into coverage a lot, but at the same time, they need help all over the defense. They do need help on the guard position. I think there could be someone they reach. They need help at the corner position. I think Ben Morrison would be, if he would have played the entire year, he would have been here. But I think the injury concern may be looming for the Buccaneers. I could be totally wrong, but I think they're actually going to snag the first corner, right? Will Johnson and Travis Hunter. Pardon me. They're going to snag Trey Amos. He seems to me that he would fit the Buccaneers the best way over Jahdae Barron, I'm sorry, who a lot of people have ranked higher. I just don't know that he might fit what they're looking for over there in Tampa.
And that leaves me with the 22nd overall pick and our Atlanta Falcons.
Lots of pressure here. A lot of pressure.
Drop who you feel should be the pick here in the chat. But I'm going to go my route. Right? I think we spoke about it. John Abraham, who's that guy? Only the Falcons leading pass rusher in sacks. We tried to recreate with Vic Beasley, Tack McKinley. The names go on and on. We've had failed attempts with O.C. Umenyiora and company. But this young man here don't care too much about the school that he went. Which, by the way, another NFL great attended in the form of Randy Moss. Give me Mike Green. Out of the University of Marshall, man. Why not? 17 sacks for FBS last year. And ladies and gentlemen, the tape doesn't lie. The comparisons are there. This is your Will Anderson-esque style pass rusher for these Atlanta Falcons. Oh, by the way, our new defensive line coach, Nate Ollie, knows a thing or two. So why not? Derek Harmon, for me, would have been a sleeper pick. Absolutely agree. The massive, Oregon Duck defensive tackle is very disruptive. And in this, and the way I view defenses in this day and age, they're built right through the middle to allow the outsides to have their immense success that you see a lot of teams have. We're seeing it with the Philadelphia Eagles, front row with that tandem, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter. You're seeing what it's doing to guys like Joshua and Nolan Smith. So give me Mike Green. Pair him with Arnold Ebiketie. We'll see what Rook has to offer. I love it. I love it.
I'm excited. That's a great pick for me. Falling back 5 picks and he's still there? Oh,
he's still there.
Sign me up. So this is Packers fans, right? The Packers, I think, have struggled in the trenches. I think they have a good, solid base on that defense with their new defensive coordinator. right? They kept him. I don't think they fired him. Xavier McKinney signing. Corner is a bit of a question mark, but I think the corner position, I think they can address later on. I think they're going to want to develop someone with Rashawn Gary that has the intangibles, fits their size, fits their bill. I think this is where Shamar Stewart goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it fits the bill. You're
It
right,
fits
man.
the bill.
It does. It really does, man. On to the Minnesota Vikings here. You know, oh man, what can you say about the Minnesota Vikings? Brian Flores had that defense humming, and it was a thing of beauty. But what we did see, or what I saw personally, was one player in particular take a step back, and that's Harrison Smith, their true defensive leader. So I'm targeting the secondary in this one. Pull up the safeties that are available, and I'm gonna give them a guy that I feel that is not spoken about enough. No, it's not Xavier Watts. It is Nick Ominyari, the South Carolina missile,
Ooh.
drawn Derwin James-like comparisons by most NFL scouts. 6'3", 221 pounds, and the guy is a linebacker in just a safety in a linebacker's body, or whatever way you want to reference it. The guy is a missile, can cover. I like his game. He's flying under the radar. I think that makes the perfect sense, and he brings the physicality needed for that Brian Flores
That's
defense.
a great pick. Great pick for that Brian Flores defense. Now the Houston Texans. They could go, I think they're going to go trenches here, whether it's offense or defense. They have a new offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly? No. Chip Kelly went to Las Vegas. Who's their
He went to
offensive
Las
coordinator?
Vegas.
It was the Rams guy.
For who? I'm sorry, for the Texans?
Texans. Yeah, I think they hired a Rams guy. So another Sean McVay-esque guy. He had CJ Stroud heading into his third year. He had a sophomore slump. We saw the biggest issue, right? Offensive line. You have some of the best offensive talent falling right into your lap. I think they go Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yep.
And solidify a tackle position, potentially sliding him into guard. Some people have him as guard. I think he's a tackle, whether you want to put him on the left or right side, kind of like Tristan Wirfs. Start him on one side. Once Tunsil retires, maybe you can move him over to the left side.
And I think this is the run on tackles here, because Josh Simmons, being the next guy best available as far as tackles, goes to the Rams.
You got him to go into the Rams?
I got him going to the Rams here.
Boom.
Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. Okay. Even though there was success on the offensive line, I think they did a good job with Roger Rosengarten. That they drafted late. They've done a great job. They still need help at the edge, but they need help on the offensive line. Who knows if they're going to re-sign Ronnie Stanley? I think they do. So it's more so about the guard position, because they have their tackle solidified. What's his name? Tyler Linderbaum. One of the best centers in the league. I think they get a guy that flew up boards based off his performance at the Senior Bowl. Slide him into guard. Give me Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State.
You want to talk about a guy that made money? Look further, man.
Oh, yeah. That guy right there.
Man. Unreal, man. Unreal. Detroit Lions are on the clock, and obviously a team with Super Bowl aspirations last year. The offense was humming. Defense was getting there, and then defense just kind of fell apart. Exit Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator, but still, I think the blueprint is there. The success path is there. Defense will still be the calling for this pick here. Let's go to the edge group and see what's left, because I'm thinking edge here for these guys. Oof. Nick Scorton looks good here. Oh boy, Prince Umanyaling, that's another guy. Kyle Kernard is a sleeper as well. But I think I'll go Nick Scorton on this one, man, for the Lions.
I'm not as high on him. I think he's a second round guy, but I could totally see the Lions taking someone like that, because when he was at Purdue, I think he was more productive than he was at A&M. I think he had a down year at A&M. So maybe something there with coaching gets him back on track. I feel like I'm the only one trading right now, because I think this is where another trade happens. But we're going to trade Where are they? With the Cleveland Browns. Where is he? Where is he? Sir Myles Garrett gets traded. Okay.
God.
Okay. The Cleveland Browns are going to return a 3rd-round pick, but the Commanders are going to send a slew of picks. So I have them sending 29, 79 of this year, 1st and 2nd rounder next year, and another 1st and 5th. Okay. For Myles Garrett, they'll get number 67 in return. And I think I'm going to throw in 102 here so they don't completely lose out on their talent. Let's see if they accept it. Trade accepted. That's a haul. So the Commanders receive number 67, 102, and Myles Garrett. The Browns receive number 29 and 79 of this year, 1st and 2nd in 2026, and in 2027, a 1st and 5th round.
Wow, man.
That is a haul. That is a haul. That's comparable to what Khalil Mack cost the Bears when they traded for him from the Raiders. So now the Cleveland Browns are back on the clock.
Ooh.
Who did you take? You took Cam Ward, right?
Yes.
Cam Ward. Okay, so you have Jerry Jeudy. You need more offensive talent. You need to get younger on the offensive line. Okay, that offensive line is not getting any younger. I think they address the offensive line here again. You pair them, a young offensive tackle with a young quarterback. Give me Ahmad Membao.
Yeah, I like it. That's another guy another impactful tackle there out of Missouri. On the clock, the Buffalo Bills, man. And the Buffalo Bills, yeah, sure. I think if they would have had Stephon Diggs, I think that outcome versus the Chiefs could have probably maybe been different. Maybe.
I don't know.
But defense, I still think, and is a defensive tackle still on the board in the form of Kenneth Grant. I know they have some free agents in the middle of that defense. Pairing Kenneth Grant with Ed Oliver, fantastic duo for years to come. Exit Jordan Phillips, enter Kenneth Grant out of Michigan.
All the way at 30. If you weren't taking Kenneth Grant, that's who I was going to take for the Eagles. And my brother's an Eagles fan. Okay.
Jeez.
And I don't like it. I'm ready for the Eagles' downfall, but I digress, right? You have Saquon, you have Nolan Smith. I think they're going to lose Josh Sweat in free agency. I think they lose Milton Williams because they're going to prioritize re-signing Zach Bond. Their secondary is younger. Yep. Will Darius Slay play another season? He has commented that he might retire. Cedric Gardner-Johnson, Reed Blankenship, like all that's set. Okay. The only position on question on the offensive side, I think, is the guard position where Mekhi Becton is. Could they re-sign him, get him on a cheaper deal? I think they can. You return the continuity. You throw someone out there at wide receiver 3. I don't think you can pass up a guy like Talik Williams falling all the way to 31 and filling that void with Jordan Davis, with Jalen Carter. That's a nasty rotation.
Sure is. The assumed Super Bowl champions are now on the clock. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Don't have any sides.
They're going to lose out on Nick Bolton. They're not going to be able to afford Nick Bolton.
Okay.
So linebacker is the target for me in Steve Spagnuolo's defense. He's gonna need another guy. Another guy that can fit the bill. Carson Swerzinger out of UCLA makes sense here, but that could be a little too high. Who else is Demetrius McKnight? Who's the other guy? That's
Chris Paul Jr. I think those are the only 3 that really could be the sleeper last pick of the first round as far as the linebacker goes. That's just my opinion. But let me just scroll down there. Next one's Jeffrey Bossa, Bear Carter, Jack Kaiser. At that point, I think they're reaching.
They're reaching for that. Right. Let's look at defensive line and see what's left.
You want interior or edge?
Interior.
Okay. Pair up with Chris Jones.
Pair up with just Chris Jones. You know what, man? TJ Saunders is there. But he's another big body guy. I think they need a smaller, compactor guy that could do damage, right? So like Derek Nandi type esque like player. Norman Lott made a lot of noise at the Senior Bowl. He's a sleeper of a pick for me. I think it makes sense for Kansas City here in this one. So this is a guy that not a lot of people would have expected, but knowing Steve Spag, he'll get the best out of it. He'll get the
Norman
best
Lott?
out of this. Give me Norman Lott, man.
Wow.
Give me Norman
Wow.
Lott, bro. I trust what Steve Spagnuolo can do and getting the best out of him, man.
Oh, I'm getting dessert delivered to me.
Ain't that something special?
Thanks, love. Appreciate you. We got granola. We got strawberry, everybody. And we got some Greek yogurt. What else?
I didn't give you like the traditional granola. I made protein balls.
Oh, my wife made protein balls.
But instead of forming it, because I didn't want you to crunch in your microphone, I put the protein ball stuff on top instead of granola.
I'm so spoiled, guys. Find you the right one. Don't settle, fellas.
Don't settle.
All right, guys. We're into round 2 now. Just to recap the first round, we got Abdul Carter, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Tatoria McMillan, Will Johnson, Walter Nolan, Michael Williams, Ashton Genty, Jalen Walker. A lot of guys fell that I didn't think would, but they landed in some really good spots. James Pierce Jr., Malachi Starks, Tyler Warren, Luther Burden III, Will Campbell. Not as many offensive tackles, in my opinion. Jack Sawyer, Jihad Campbell in Seattle's defense. Oh, yes. Egbuka, Colton Loveland, Trey Amos, Mike Green, Shamar Stewart. I can't pronounce Nick's last name to save my life. Kelvin Banks, Josh Simmons, Gray Zabel, Nick Scourton, Ahmed Mambo, Kenneth Grant, Talik Williams, and Omar Norman Lott. Anybody that you're surprised didn't go in the first round?
Derek Harmon.
Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
And
Princely Umanori. That's Umanyelan, excuse me. The other pass rusher out of Ole Miss.
So now the Browns are back on the clock. They have the first pick in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
He's not him. He can't make up the production, but now you have a glaring need there. I think they go edge, and I think he made himself some money. Donovan is a Ruka. I can't say his last name either. That's who I think they're taking edge here. They got to. They got to replace. They just traded away Myles Garrett. You got to replace him with someone that can get to the quarterback.
Okay. On the clock now, New York Giants already established what they needed. Benjamin Morrison here makes a lot of sense too.
Ooh, pairing him with what's his name? What's the kid they got last year out of Kentucky? Drew Phillips.
Drew Phillips. Yep. Drew Phillips.
Okay. So now, the Tennessee Titans here. Okay. They didn't take quarterback like everyone thought.
Nope.
Okay. You got Will Levis. You got Mason Rudolph. Okay. I think they go quarterback in the second round.
Oh, my God.
And I think they're going to take a sleeper one that fits what Brian Callahan wants to do and maybe let him sit a portion of the year and work on his mechanics a little bit. Mr. Jalen Milroe. Mr. Jalen Milroe of the Bama Tide goes to the Titans. Another second-round QB for the Titans. Let's see if they can get it right this time.
Jeez.
Yeah, Smitty, I thought about Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart would have made a lot of sense, too.
I thought about him, too, but the mobility, I didn't like what Dart did at the Senior Bowl. I think Milroe had a better Senior Bowl. I think Milroe overall can just make things happen with his legs.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, man. What can we say or what can we get for the Jacksonville Jaguars, man? This is probably the best spot here for their defensive line to upgrade. So, defensive
they got Mason
tackle.
Graham.
They got Mason Graham. Oh, you gave him Mason Graham. That's right. Right. So their interior is okay. Okay. Let's look interior offensive line. How many times was the young? Yep.
So I put offensive tackles and interior line. You got Tyler Booker there at guard.
Yeah. No.
Josh Connerly fell.
Yep.
Ursery is there. Donovan Jackson.
Oh, Donovan
Cameron
Jackson's
Williams.
there. Yeah, you know what? Not Donovan Jackson. Arante is Ezri.
You want the Minnesota kid?
The Minnesota kid.
Hey, he had a solid Senior Bowl.
He did. Why do I get stuck with New England? I think it's because the area. God damn it.
Why do you get stuck with what?
New England.
It's just fate.
Yeah.
It's just fate. Now the Raiders, you took Genty, right?
Yep.
They still have so many glaring holes on the defense, but they also need help on the offensive line still. Man, the fact that he's still there, I think the Raiders run to the podium. Jahdae Barron is a Raider.
No.
Jahdae Barron is a Raider. They need to
man.
upgrade at the cornerback position.
Yeah.
And I think he's a day one guy. I think you throw him out there right away.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. On to the most hated.
You wanted him to fall to 46, huh?
Sheesh, man. Yeah, I did, man. That would have been a dream come true, man. Jahdae Barron in the Falcons uniform. That would have been outstanding, man. But the New England Patriots, man, running back, yeah, you know what? I think they can upgrade from Romador Stevenson. He had an up and down year last year. So let's look at halfback and see what's the best available. Omarion Hampton, yep, the do-it-all running back from North Carolina is a possibility. Yeah, Trayvon Henderson, he's another good one, but I'm going the kid out of NC.
Going Hampton.
Hampton.
Woo, buddy.
Smitty says Golden to the Patriots. Popular name that's making a lot of headway. Matthew Golden.
He needs weapons. Yeah, Golden is going to be a fringe first round guy too.
Yeah.
And you know what? I misspoke. You gave Genty to the Bears.
To the Bears, yes.
You gave the Raiders McMillan, right?
McMillan. Yep. To Torrey.
So
McMillan.
either way, they still needed to upgrade.
Yep.
The Raiders still have a need at running back, but now you have the Bears. Man, the fact that he fell to the second round, they need offensive tackle help. Connerly Jr. as fast as you can, man. Now that left tackle spot is solidified for the Chicago Bears. Now you get our beloved, hated rival, the New Orleans Saints.
And this is where Matthew Golden makes sense because Chris Olave, with all the head trauma that he's been going through, makes sense here. So
Matthew Golden?
Yeah, Matthew Golden.
The Bears are on the clock again. Look at that.
Dude, they're just racking up.
They stacked on picks. So we went tackle. We went running back.
Yep.
The receivers are there. You have your franchise quarterback. I think the defense is pretty set as well. I'm tempted. I am really tempted. And I think I'm going to do it. They're going to double dip an offensive line. Tyler Booker out of Bama. Now you've got a young guard, young tackle, younger right tackle, right? Tevin Jenkins is going to leave in free agency. You've got to protect your franchise. Ben Johnson knows that more than anyone.
Now you got the Jets. Oh boy. Lovely Jets, man. What can we say?
They took Will Johnson, remember?
Yeah, so you paired him with Sauce Gardner.
What are you thinking?
Is Aaron Rodgers going to be there? I think a developmental quarterback makes sense here. Jackson Dart has made himself some damn money in this past Senior Bowl. So let's go Jackson Dart in this one, man.
Wow.
Let's go. Got to be bold, man. Screw it.
Got to be bold. So now I think the 49ers could go offensive line here. They need the help, right? Trent Williams isn't getting younger. The right side struggles at times, but they're losing so many defensive pieces. And they have Robert Saleh came back. He's going to need that corner that he can develop because I think Charvarius Ward is gone in free agency.
Yeah.
The kid that would have been a first rounder had he not gotten hurt, Siobhan Rivell.
Siobhan Rivell
takes over. That kid is going to be good, man. If you throw on the tape, the kid is good.
Yep. Dallas is back on the clock. Who we gave Dallas the first?
James Pierce Jr.
James Pierce Unum. Okay, James Pierce Jr. So we took care of edge. I'm not giving them a running back. Let's look at what's left for the wide receiver because
they definitely need help there.
They definitely need help there. Jack Batch is the name that's climbing up draft boards as well. Makes a lot of sense. TCU kid, TCU. Let's go Jack Batch, man.
Solid pick. I like what he does. He's got great hands, great route runner.
Yeah,
just fits the mold. CD and him can alternate from going inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. So now the Indianapolis Colts. What are we going to do here?
We gave them a tight end.
We gave them a tight end, which they needed.
Mm-hmm.
They have Michael Pittman Jr. They have Alec Pierce.
Yep,
they also
Alec
drafted A.D. Mitchell last year. They got Latu last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do they need offensive line help? I think they do, honestly, because they have several free agents going into the class. They do need help on the edge because they're going to lose Sam Ebukam. Latu may take a more prime role. They also need, they need a lot.
Yep.
You know who makes sense here?
JT, maybe.
The kid out of Ohio State, JTT.
Yep.
Pair him up with Latu. One day.
Oh, man. Hey, wow. I get the Atlanta Falcons again.
You get them again.
Don't punch the screen. Don't punch air in this one. But, Falcons need defense. We fit the bill with Mike Green in the first round. Mm-hmm. Shocking that he was still there. We still need help in the trenches. Now, I can double dip because I know Princely Yellen is still available out of Ole Miss. Kyle Kennard out of South Carolina is also available. We have two aging defensive tackles in the form of Grady and David Onyemata. Both guys don't know who's going to be back out of those two. Grady could be cut and could be brought back on a lesser deal. David Onyemata is a trade candidate or cut outright. And there's three guys. But Derek Harmon and Darius Alexander for me are either one of those guys fit the bill in Atlanta. It's time to start, building the trenches the right way in Atlanta. We have to. I know we took Brandon Dorless last year, but we don't know what Brandon's going to do in Jeff Ulbricht's style defense. Rook, still a relative unknown. We got to continue building the trenches, man. It's time to start establishing the trenches.
Who you got?
Give me your take. Because hey, you're a mastermind too, man.
So for those thinking that we need linebacker, we could go linebacker here. Mm-hmm. The guy that I'm looking at in this round, is he still on the board, is either Demetrius Knight Jr. or Chris Ball Jr. Mm-hmm. Those are the next two best linebackers. But I think the Falcons can really address the need for linebacker in free agency. Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bolton, what's his name? Smallwood from the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
There's the link there. I agree with you that the trenches, I don't think you can go wrong with edge or interior. It's a matter of how you want the rotation, because we will still have Zach Harrison. We will still have Brandon Dorless. We will still have Rook Oro. Now, will Grady be there? Who knows? Will David Onyemata be there? Who knows? The interior room did get a lot lighter because a lot of guys were on their last year of their contract. They did sign Lakel London to a future deal, so he'll be a part of that second, maybe third rotation to give guys breathers. I think you either go corner or you go trenches here.
And what? Yeah. So absolutely. I'm still going to stick to trenches, man. I'm still going to stick to trenches. I'm going to go back to the University of Oregon, man. Give me Derek Harmon, man.
Oh!
Give me Derek Harmon, bro. Give it to me.
Derek Harmon in the second round, I think it's a steal.
It sure is.
I think
that's
it's
a first-round talent, man.
I think that's a first-round talent. The fact that he's ranked so low and could potentially fall. I think
in terms of size, I'm just saying. He's huge. But what did the Jets have in the middle of their defense? Size. Quinnen Williams, big guy. Derek Harmon fits that sort of bill. Skill set might not be, the same level as Quinnen, but the guy he's just a handful, man. And that's exactly what this Falcons defense need. Normally known for light defensive lines in previous years, we got to get stouter in the middle, man. So Derek Harmon.
Nice. So for the Arizona Cardinals, I think they still have a glaring need at wide receiver. I think running back room's good. They may draft a quarterback as a developmental guy behind Kyler Murray. But, man, defense. There's so many good defensive talents here. Buda Baker, I think, got an extension. He's there. They got some solid corners. Man, let me see who they've got at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I see a guy here that I don't know that they can pass because of his versatility. And it's not Xavier Restebro, if you're thinking of that. I'm looking at the kid from TCU, Savion Williams. He is a joker. He can be moved around. He could pair up well with Marvin Harrison Jr. I think they go wide receiver here.
Solid. Miami Dolphins are on the clock, and their draft pick was
Malachi Starks.
So his safety position is all set. What's left at corner? Because there's a lot of rumblings about Jalen Ramsey's potential exit after that, after what he put on his IG, and Darian Porter is a good. Maxwell Harrison is another guy who's good, man. Who else is left at corner? Azaria Thomas. Go down, Mello Dotson, Kobe Bryant. Ooh, Kobe Bryant. Yeah, but not there. Too high. Jacob Parrish, Zy Alexander. Yeah, let's go Dorian.
Who you want?
Dorian
Porter?
Porter, yeah, Dorian Porter.
Okay. All right, nice. Solid. Got to solidify it. No question marks at corner in the secondary. You got to solidify it. So, the Bengals. Who did I take? I took Jack Sawyer, right?
Yeah, Jack Sawyer.
They need to upgrade at linebacker. Okay, Logan Wilson was hurt. He needs a good running mate. Secondaries need. Offensive line is still in need. Will T. Higgins resign? I think that's too much in the air right now. I think they get a guy in Demetrius Knight Jr. who can play that Mike role and allow Logan Wilson to play more of the Will role. So I think they go linebacker here.
This one, I hate to do it, but Jawad Campbell went to the Seahawks in the first round. I look at edge, and Princely Umanyalan is still there. I think he's perfect for that. For that Mike McDonald attack style defense, man. So give me Princely.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So the Buccaneers, who did I take? I took Trey Amos. They took a corner.
Trey Amos, a corner.
So they still need edge help. I spoke about how they need guys that are able to drop in coverage. There's one guy that I think fits what they want to do. And it's not Jackson. It's not Kennard. It's a guy I think a lot of people are sleeping on. Jared Ivey.
Wow.
What's his name? I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, Umanyalan.
Yes, his running mate. He has power and he has sneaky good speed. I think he fits, again, what the style they want. He can drop into coverage very minimally. He can shift over into the 3 or 4 technique. He has shown the versatility. I think Jared Ivey is a Buccaneer.
Nice. I wanted this guy for our secondary, but obviously the Broncos moving away from Justin Simmons. You can tell how that affected maybe some of what they wanted to do in that secondary. And Xavier Watts is still available. The safety out of Notre Dame, I think makes good sense here for this Broncos defense, man.
Sheesh, boy, I tell you what, man, that is nasty.
Yeah,
nasty. So Pittsburgh Steelers, Cam Hayward's aging. I think Larry Ogunjobi is a cap casualty for them. Linebackers, Patrick Queen, he's good. Does he need a running mate? Maybe. Corners, that's another need that they need. They address the wide receiver position. Maybe the running back position is something they take here. But I think the draft for running back is so deep that they could wait till later rounds to do so. I mean, defensive interior, I hate to do it, but he just looks like the type of guy. Darius Alexander.
Yeah.
To the Pittsburgh Steelers. The guy's so shifty, so strong, and such a big body.
Man. Yep. I agree, man. I agree. On the clock, the Chargers, and The hell did we go the first round with the Chargers? Was
who'd they go? They went 15. They took Luther Burden.
Luther Burden, the wide receiver out of Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot has been said about Khalil Mack, who is a free agent. Joey Bosa is another guy that could potentially be a cap casualty or trade candidate. Let's go to edge. And I believe Kyle Kennard is still available. And I think it's a guy that, I think fits the bill here. I'm not too much of a fan of Landon Jackson. I'll be right out. I'll tell you right out and say that. But Kyle Kennard for me out of South Carolina makes sense here.
That's a solid landing spot. Now for the Packers. Who did I take for the Packers? You remember? Let's go. Shamar Stewart.
Right, Shamar Stewart. Yep.
Shamar Stewart. So you address the edge situation. They need help at corner because Jair Alexander may be on his way out. Crazy. The other guy on the other side, not so great. I think Maxwell Hairston, if he's there. I mean, he's a guy that could play the nickel, can play the outside. Just a great corner, great instincts.
We gave Buffalo defensive line help. Kenneth Grant. Let's look at the wide receivers and see what's available there because that's something that, nothing too inspiring. But Jaden Higgins,
he's
trending
Higgins.
up. I like Higgins a lot. Let's go Higgins. He needs playmakers. He's
got great ball tracking skill and he's really big. Like he's really tall.
And Coleman has been inconsistent for them more than anything.
I don't. When they drafted him, honestly, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Why? So now we get back to the Houston Texans. We address the need in offensive line. Wide receiver is another question mark because Stephon Diggs is a free agent. I don't know that Tank Dell plays at all next year because of his gruesome injury. So you could go wide receiver here. You could wait, but then you also need, I think they need a running mate for Nico Collins, and based off their new offensive coordinator, I think they may go receiver here and a guy that could play maybe a Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp role, who they could get. Yeah, but I like Xavier Restapro here.
Yep, makes sense.
He thrives in the slot. Nico Collins can handle the outside. Put him in the slot. Let him eat.
In the first round, I went Walter Nolan for these Carolina Panthers. Man, pairing him with Derek Brown, giving them just a headache to handle in the interior. Playmakers. What do they got? What's left for receivers? Isaiah Bond, maybe. I was thinking
his stock fell, but I think
it did.
I think he just kind of got in his own head, and a Dave Canales offense. I think he can
thrive. Yeah, I think so too. So let's go Isaiah Bond in this one.
All right. Not all right for us being in the division, but all right. So Baltimore Ravens, we addressed offensive line need. Wide receiver is always an issue. Zay Flowers got hurt. I think Rashad Bateman, I think maybe on a contract year, I'm not sure. He kind of burst onto the scene. They could add some free agent cheap deals. I think they bolster. The defense really took off towards the end of the year. I think they address edge here. Let me see who we have at edge because Landon Jackson kind of screams the style for the Ravens. There's something about when you get to the Baltimore Ravens and you play defense, you get this attribute boost for those of you that play Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring, World of Warcraft, those type of games. You just get that boost, whatever. You just take it up a notch. And I think Landon Jackson falls to the Ravens. And I think he develops into the guy that people want him to be.
Nice. Still with the theme with the Detroit Lions is defense for me. And TJ Saunders looks great in that interior. They need it. They definitely need it. And why not? Let's go TJ Saunders here.
Woo! So the Commanders need wide receiver help. I think they still need more defensive help. Maybe on the back end, right? Corner's been an issue for them for a long time. You could have a Kobe Bryant, but I think Azare Thomas, he's got that big size. Marshawn Lattimore needs someone on the other side that can handle it. You move Sainristil into the nickel. That secondary becomes even scarier, and that's what Dan Quinn's defense needs at this point, especially after adding Myles Garrett. Give me Thomas out of Florida State.
Yeah.
DBU.
DBU for sure. And you like, Dan Quinn, man. He likes his long, lengthy corners, man. You see what he did with Seattle. So why not give him that great pick, man? Buffalo back on the clock here, man. And what can we say? Gave him Jaden Higgins. And now in the second round, in the first round, what the hell did we give him in the first round again?
Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle.
That's right. Yeah, Kenneth Grant. So got to go back on defense. Got to continue building that defense, I would think. What's left for the safety position?
Okay.
Bastion Castro, Landon Ransom. Ooh, right there. Andrew Mabuka out of Texas, man.
I hate that he's going to the Bills, but it just makes sense. It makes sense. Oh, damn. The Bills have had a great draft. I got to say.
Far.
So the Eagles. Where'd we go, Eagles? First round. We went Talik Williams to replace. So you have edge. Again, I think their offense, could you add a wide receiver here? I think the talent dropped off a little bit. And I think they could wait till the third round. I'm looking at linebacker, actually, because Nakobe Dean had a late season injury. Can't stay healthy. True. I know a lot of Georgia people are like, oh, you should be on the Falcons. I mean, injuries are injuries. I like Chris Paul Jr. I like Chris Paul Jr. on the Eagles. I hate to say it, but he just fits a Vic Fangio defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you get the Chiefs again.
I get the Chiefs again. What the hell did I give him the first one? Oh, no, I gave him the defensive tackle out of Texas. That's what I gave him.
No, you get out of Tennessee.
Tennessee, excuse me, Tennessee. So linebacker here makes sense too with the possible departure of Nick Bolton. Yeah.
I know what you're thinking.
I know, dude. I know. I don't want to give up Foye Oluokun. I mean Jeffrey Bossa. Sorry. No. That's what he reminds me of. But Barrett Carter also would make sense in this draft selection here. He gets knocked only because of his size. But you put on the tape, the kid's sideline to sideline, has the speed, is physical at the point of attack, not afraid to put his nose where it doesn't belong. Carson Swinger, another guy that's versatile as well. So I'll go Carson in this one. Give me the UCLA kid.
Replacing Nick Bolton?
Replacing Nick Bolton.
So that does it for our draft results. What do you guys think?
Yeesh.
There were a lot of people still there in the third round, and the Falcons added a third round pick.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel? Who do you think won this draft?
Oh, God. Good question.
Because look at this. You took Walter Nolan. I did not think he would be a top 10 pick, but you're so right. Adding him, the menace of Derek Brown with Walter Nolan in that interior bolsters that defense so much that you could get edge for them later on. Then it just helps them. There's still plenty of edge talent in the later rounds. The offensive tackles surprised me, honestly, with only Will Campbell going in the top 20, and then the next one didn't go until number 25. That's something that could happen.
Sure can.
But then at the same time, you could, like a lot of these teams could leverage draft capital because it's like, hey, Houston's about to pick. If you want your guy, you're going to have to jump.
Yeah.
Kind of like how I had the Steelers jumping the Broncos, who may have gotten Egbuka, right? They need more talent. Wide receiver, tight end, running back. That offense did well, and we know who Bo Nix is, but, I don't know, man. It's tough because last year I felt we, knew who were the first rounders. Like, we knew. It's just a matter of where they were going to fall, right? The places they were going to fall. We talked about it. Only really 10 players that have first-round grades. My Bulldog fans cry a little bit because the Aints got one.
Yeah, Michael.
The 49ers got another one, and then the Dolphins got him. So I wouldn't expect any Bulldogs to be there for the Falcons if they stand pat at 15. If they are there, I think it's a very strong possibility that they could take one. But I think the biggest possibility for our Atlanta Falcons is them trading back. Berto, you had mentioned number 20 is a sweet spot.
Yeah.
For the Broncos. I think that's the closest, dropping 5 picks, but I don't think they go past maybe 24 or 25. I don't think they get out of the first round unless they somehow collect, 2 second
Oh
round
yeah, 2
picks,
second round. Yeah.
a third, because we talked about that talent between 20 and 60, then you can really just bulk up. I think a lot of people would be upset not to have a first round pick, but it would make sense to me for them to have, what is it? 3 picks in 3 rounds instead of 2 picks in 3 rounds, So, I don't know, man. How do you feel?
I feel good, man. I think, this draft really brought us necessities, man. Necessities. Building the trenches again. I'll stick by that, man. You got to build it up. You got to build it up. You can't rely in free agency and get these older vets or these would be potential high risk or high reward free agents. I'd rather just do it now, clean. Get these guys through the draft and stop building them the right way. Get this organization trending the right way in developing players and just leaving, just a stamp for years to come. Derek Harmon, Mike Green, fit the necessity, fit the bill, a position of need for the Falcons. A lot of people say, "Oh, defensive line or defensive tackle is not a need." Yeah, when you do the checks and balances, yes, it does. It makes sense. We got 2 guys that we don't know if they're going to be here past March. We don't know, and behind that, the depth chart doesn't look all too inspiring. So you have to add to that room. So Derek Harmon, Mike Green, I'm happy with it. I'm happy if it happens in real life. One guy that didn't go was my draft crush, Deion Walker.
He's not going in the second. I do not think he goes. The earliest he goes is the 3rd round, in my opinion.
Come on.
That's what I think.
Who are you taking in the 3rd round?
If we are able to get a 3rd round selection, I'm strongly looking at the corner. And Kobe Bryant's name is just screaming at me.
Yeah.
He's screaming at me if he's there. Kobe Bryant, I don't like the safeties in the 3rd round. I think we can get someone else. If you want linebacker, Jeffrey Boss is there, Barrett Carter's there. That would be someone, a linebacker that doesn't have to come in right away and can, sit behind a free agent signing that we get in Caden Ellis. Because I think it's going to be Caden and a free agent signing that are going to be our starters. And then it's going to be rotation. I don't think JD Bertrand's a starter. I think someone summed it up, and when they said it, it made sense. He's just a replication of Caden Ellis. Honestly, he's more of a downhill guy versus a coverage guy. He struggles in coverage, so you really need someone. That's why I like Jeffrey Bossa. It's a converted safety to linebacker that understands coverages, understands route concepts to know where he's going to be, sheds blocks really well, and can blitz the passer because he's fast. He's a fast linebacker.
Overall, man, I'm good. I feel good about it. Some names that we folks might have not thought that would have went in certain spots, but you think replicating what success they had with their previous teams and wanted to mimic it with their team. Ashton Genty to the Chicago Bears. Yeah, that makes sense. They want to build up that run game. You need to support Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can't run all the time. You need to hand that rock off as much as you can. And Genty, he's no stranger to it. So, yeah, I love it, man. This was fun, bro.
It was fun. Thank you guys for all being here. This was the first version of it. We'll definitely, after free agency happens, we'll update this and then we'll do this again. Maybe a third round. Maybe a third
Absolutely.
round.
Yeah, we'll do 3 rounds instead of 2, and then we'll do team by team. Hopefully, we don't disappoint who your personal team is taking. But hey, again, it's not written in stone, man. It's just personal takes on it, man. So you good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Until next time, guys.
Absolutely, man. But please, folks, please remember, man, kindly to go on and subscribe to Dirty Bird Central on YouTube. This young man is blazing the subscription banner, man, almost at 1,000 already, man. So let's get him to 1,000K subs on YouTube, man. Of course, if for those that do know me, Berto, you're the host of the 95 North Falcons talk show, also on YouTube. And yeah, please, man, visit the platform, hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciated. And I'm also on Bleacher Report. I'm their official Falcons content creator. I was just on earlier this evening just reacting to the Kirk Cousins shenanigans from yesterday. Good Morning Football saga.
That's for another time.
That's for another. That's a very loaded and sensitive topic. But poor us, F them. But for that, we'll give you your Wednesday evening back. Enjoy, and we will catch you on the next one, everybody. Peace.